What's going on, guys? This is Rob. If you guys enjoy my content, make sure you hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that little bell so you never miss out on my sexy voice. Okay, so a lot of you guys have been asking about RobCore rings. FYI, if you follow me on Twitter, at Comics Explained, I usually just kind of give rings away arbitrarily. You know, follow me on Twitter, and that's where you'll find out whether or not I give them away. But, okay, so Marvel announced that Cosmic Ghost Rider was gonna get his own solo series. And I was like, okay, I don't know if it's a solo series or like a mini series or what, but he's gonna have his own comic book. And initially I was on the fence about it. And then I read this, and I'm like, okay, so I am on board. If Donny Cates is the one who's writing it, I am on board with it. This guy is a madman, dude. Donny Cates, this guy is smashing out some of the best Thanos storytelling ever. But Cosmic Ghost Rider is so cool. He's hilarious because the initial thought of everybody who was reading the Thanos series was that Cosmic Ghost Rider was Deadpool, that like Deadpool had somehow become the Ghost Rider, but it's not Deadpool. Instead, what we end up doing here is picking up with like this last battle that takes place on Earth. It's basically the final time that Thanos invades. And this is cool. I love these montage things where it's just like the final battle of Earth and like everyone's basically dying. I love those kinds of stories. They're so cool. But like this final battle of Earth is intense because like everybody's getting totally obliterated. But what ends up happening is that in these final moments when basically everybody's dying and being obliterated, the Punisher reaches out and says, I would give anything to kill Thanos. And he's whisked in front of Mephisto. This is huge because for those of you guys who don't know, the Ghost Rider is a byproduct of Mephisto. Now, the purpose of the Ghost Rider has waxed and waned over the years. The Ghost Rider is in and of itself a spirit of vengeance. Now, like the Ghost Rider Audie Reyes is not the same as like Danny Ketch or Johnny Blaze. Those two guys, Johnny Blaze and Danny Ketch, they're spirits of vengeance, so they have like the penance stare, but they're basically sent there. Like they have the power of the Ghost Rider given directly to them by Mephisto. When it comes to Audie Reyes, he's just possessed by Eli. I can never remember his last name, but basically his uncle, like the spirit of his, demonic worshipping uncle, and that was really about it. Now, Marvel's brought the mythos of Audie Reyes closer in line with like, Johnny Blaze and Danny Ketch, but for the most part, he's kind of a standalone, isolated character. But as you see this circumstance now, this is classic Ghost Rider circumstance, being brought before Mephisto, basically being told, I can make your wish come true, but you will have to serve as the Ghost Rider. And that's exactly what ends up happening. The irony of all this, and one thing to keep in mind, is that when it comes to Mephisto, his whole idea is he basically bargains with people and then he takes their souls once they're dead. And so it's never one of these things where like he's legit, like he's never fair. And so sure, Punisher becomes the Ghost Rider in order to destroy Thanos. The problem is he can't leave Earth. He's confined to the planet Earth because he can't fly. He can't survive in space on his own. And so the result is that he's essentially doomed to just kind of ride around the face of the Earth forever. But the funny thing about this is that he basically loses his mind in complete and total isolation. And this is the explanation of why it is that Ghost Rider is more like Deadpool now than he originally was, because the indication is that when Frank Castle became Ghost Rider, he was probably a lot like Johnny Blaze, but being left in isolation, having no one to talk to, the fact that the Punisher's entire charter, his entire existence is predicated on like tracking down those who have committed wrongs and then just executing him on the spot, being judge, jury, and executioner. Because that's not there, he quite literally just went insane. And so I would surmise that in effect, he became Deadpool. Now from here, we pick up with the arrival of Galactus. And under normal circumstances, when it comes to these end of the world stories, like after all the superheroes have been destroyed, Galactus will usually show up, at least depending on who's writing the story, because it's like, okay, no one's here to protect Earth, and it's high time that I consume it. That's what happened in the future of the Old Man Logan story. But the problem is that Galactus hasn't shown up to Earth to consume it. Galactus has shown up to Earth for asylum. He's shown up to Earth believing that all the Earth superheroes are still here, and he's seeking aid. And the reason why is because while Ghost Rider, while Punisher is on Earth, just kind of confined to this planet, Thanos has been launching a campaign, just kind of hop, skipping, and jumping across the universe, obliterating every form of sentient life he comes across. He's killed gods, he's killed cosmic entities, and Thanos is yet another person in his line of sight. Now, of course, Thanos basically escaped with his life, but this is designed to illustrate the fact that Thanos' power has been growing consistently over the years. Now, again, this is an origin story yanked out of the Thanos Wins story arc, and the Thanos Wins story arc explains all that. It tells us how all that happened. It tells us everything that's going on. So again, once we cover like the main story itself, then like we'll see everything that's going on. So you guys will basically have an idea of what's happening. But it is cool because with Galactus showing up here, he's basically met by Cosmic Ghost Rider. And the funny thing is that Galactus kind of doesn't know how to handle it. It's like going to a party that you're expecting like everybody to be at, but the only one who's there is just like the weird guy nobody wants to talk to. Like, okay, so I forgot that I have something to do, and that something is not being here. So like, I will see you later. Like it's kind of funny. But the idea is that what ends up happening is Cosmic Ghost Rider, or really at this point just Ghost Rider, comes to the realization that he and and Galactus have a common theme. And under normal circumstances, when it comes to like allies, Galactus is someone you want to have on your side because of all the power he possesses. And the result is that, Ghost Rider simply says, hey, look, man, like you want to destroy Thanos, I want to destroy Thanos, let's work together. And so Ghost Rider becomes Cosmic Ghost Rider. And that's why this is cool, is because now he's simply a herald of Galactus. Now, the funny thing is that this doesn't happen like right off the bat, right? It's not like Cosmic Ghost Rider becomes a herald of Galactus and then in turn, like 3 hours later, they're facing off against Thanos. This goes on for like centuries. It goes on for like a long time. Now, the indication seems to be that like they're tracking down Thanos, right? And that's kind of the weird situation here, is because we would expect Galactus with the power cosmic to be able to easily locate Thanos. But I would argue that because of the fact that Marvel wants to kind of create like an ongoing series for Cosmic Ghost Rider, that this is likely a way for them to basically create a gap to say, okay, so like now what we're going to get in this solo series is what amounts to the tales of Cosmic Ghost Rider. What was Cosmic Ghost Rider and Galactus doing? What were they doing together when they were like surfing the spaceways? But it is cool because once they finally face off against him, like Thanos just destroys Galactus. He just blows his head off. There's like no fight at all. And this is intense because again, this hits at the idea that Thanos's power has been growing over the years. But it is cool because Thanos basically offers an olive branch of friendship to Ghost Rider. And the reason why is because remember, in Marvel Comics, while the Spirit of Vengeance can possess people, the Spirit of Vengeance itself is kind of an immutable entity. It is just sort of a force that's out there that's sent forward by Mephisto. So the physical body of Frank Castle could be destroyed, but the Spirit of Vengeance would be whisked back by Mephisto and then given to someone else. And when you're Thanos, when you're looking at a person that has the powers of the Ghost Rider, the powers of the Spirit of Vengeance, you don't really see Punisher. Punisher was just a guy who ran around on Earth and was judge, jury, and executioner for everyone he disagreed with. But let's say, for example, that Thanos destroyed the physical body of the Punisher. Then again, the Spirit of Vengeance would be whisked back to Mephisto and it would just stay there until Mephisto finds somebody else he can basically trick into becoming the new Ghost Rider and then bond that to that person. And it would just take someone out there, anybody in the universe. And suddenly the cycle repeats itself. In order for the Ghost Rider entity to be as close as you can get to destroyed, Thanos would have to go to the realm of Mephisto, kill him, and then in turn, like, destroy whoever the Ghost Rider is inhabiting right now. And all that would happen is the Spirit of Vengeance would whisk back to the realm of Mephisto, and then there wouldn't be anybody to send it forward again until somebody took over the role of Mephisto, if anybody did. And so again, that's how that whole thing works. But again, it's Thanos allying himself with Cosmic Ghost Rider, simply saying, hey, look, it's better to simply have you on my side than have to worry about you killing me somewhere along the line, or the spirit constantly coming back. So it is kind of cool, because as a result, this is how it is that Ghost Rider becomes an ally of Thanos. Now, because of the fact that Frank Castle and the Ghost Rider kind of have a synonymous or, an almost identical charter in the sense that they exist to punish the wicked, Thanos simply starts taking him around the cosmos, and he just starts killing and destroying anyone that gets in their way. Basically, anyone who's deemed to be an evildoer in the eyes of Frank Castle and the eyes of the Spirit of Vengeance. And so as a result, what ends up happening here is you end up having them facing off against the Silver Surfer, who is believed to have been dead. Now, what the Silver Surfer's also done here is travel to the negative zone and marshal the forces of Annihilus. Now, for those of you guys who don't know, the negative zone is kind of like a hallway of doors when it comes to Marvel Comics. In Marvel, you have like the multiverse. You have all these different universes, but there's only one negative zone. So if they were to introduce the negative zone in like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, if they follow comic book logic, if they follow the way it's depicted in Marvel Comics, then like Doctor Strange could enter the negative zone and then like access any one of the universes in the multiverse, which includes the main Marvel comic book universe, like assuming that it's all part of the great big huge multiverse. But within the negative zone, it is a self-contained reality. You've got planets, you've got stars, I think you have stars, but you have like denizen races, and you have all kinds of things that go on. But the leader of the negative zone, or the person kind of, the most in power, is Annihilus. And Annihilus has the Annihilation Wave, which is basically just a giant army of bugs. But while he's tried to invade the Marvel Universe and successfully didn't, while he tried to conquer the universe and came close, ultimately he was defeated and confined back to the negative zone again. But the Annihilation Wave numbers in the millions, if not the hundreds of millions. I mean, it was a force large enough to just kind of make its way, to literally be a wave across the universe and destroy like sentient life and destroy planets and destroy all these things, to the point that like the various groups and heroes who were out there, Ronan the Accuser, Star-Lord, Peter Quill, they were like fleeing for their lives and they were fighting a losing battle. It was so bad that like Nova, Richard Rider, showed up to Earth during the events of Civil War, was like, hey guys, so like you guys need to come help us fight, only to find out that like the Earth superheroes were fighting amongst each other, and then he just left. So it was pretty huge. I mean, the Annihilation Wave captured Galactus and used him as an energy source. There were a lot of things that went on. So this is not just like a small thing. It's not grabbing, you know, some army from some, you know, cast off planet somewhere, or what's left of the denizens in the universe, and then making one last, you know, game at trying to destroy Thanos. This is a massive army, but they are cannon fodder. They're mindless soldiers. They're just there, and they're easily destroyed. They're fish in a barrel is really all they are. And so the result is that Thanos and Ghost Rider tear through these guys. And it's just a combination of all the power Thanos possesses. It's a combination of all the power Ghost Rider possesses. They just start ripping through these guys with virtually no effort whatsoever. And so the result is that what we end up having here is that Thanos comes to the realization that something's not right. And I want you to think about this for a second. In what we would call the modern day right now in Marvel Comics, you know, we're talking about a Thanos that's been around for a long time, been around for what amounts to centuries. And this guy has learned all these different things when it comes to military strategy. He's learned the ins and outs of like how characters are most likely going to fight, how they think. It's just something that he's attained over the years by virtue of facing off against the same heroes over and over and over again, and experiencing defeat after defeat after defeat. And so in his mind, when he looks at the Silver Surfer doesn't usually jump into a conflict he doesn't believe he can win. But these are desperate times. And if the Silver Surfer is willing to reach out to a force that would have just as easily turned against him as join him, then the Silver Surfer has to have something else up his sleeve. If the Surfer knew that Thanos and Ghost Rider would easily destroy these guys, then there has to be something else going on. And so what ends up happening is that Thanos asks this question, what are you doing? Like, 1, why haven't we seen you for a while? 2, what have you been doing when we haven't seen you? And 3, why would you show up here with what amounts to cannon fodder that would get obliterated in effectively minutes, you know, and then in turn just kind of stay? And, you know, the Silver Surfer's response is, well, I've been working. I haven't been waiting. I haven't been lying in wait and just kind of resting on my laurels. I've been working. And when the question is, what have you been working on? The Silver Surfer's response is, I've been working on becoming worthy. And that's when we end up finding out, somehow or another, the Silver Surfer has attained the hammer of Thor. With that being said, guys, we're going to bring this video to an end. If you are new here to Comics Explained, make sure you guys hit the sub button to become part of the Rob Corps. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you drop a like, and I will catch you all later. Peace.